Okay, so good evening, everyone. I am Pooja Dubey. I am a brand builder from India. I basically help professionals and corporates to create brands by through content. I'm also an author and I write books as well as provide coaching to authors in India. So today we are going to talk about personal branding. But before I start sharing my presentation, I would like to understand if you already know something about personal branding, what according to you is personal branding and why are we even talking about it? So can I have your views? You can either put it on chat or you can unmute yourself and speak up. What do you think is personal branding and why are we talking about it? How to sell yourself your skills. Okay, how to present ourselves. Perfect. Any other views? Okay, so cool. I would first begin with, a little bit of introductions from you. I would like to understand, do you actually do use personal branding or any of the marketing elements in your career right now? Are you on social media? Are you actually actively engaged there, or you're just there? You have just created profile, or you're very active? So you can quickly type if you are just there, then type just there. If you are active, then you type active. If you're very active, then type very active. So I will have like a little understanding of you guys, and accordingly I will just there very active, very active. Okay, cool. So that makes my work easy because most of you are active or moderately active. That's perfect. So most of the things that I'm going to talk about will be easy for you to understand. Let me begin with my presentation. Very, very, very active. Okay. Okay, can you see my screen? Okay, if you can, unmute and speak because I'm not able to see the chat here.
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, cool. Okay, so what is a brand? The first question about branding is, if you want to learn about personal branding, the first step is that you already know what a brand is. But when you apply this context to personal branding, how is personal branding different from a company branding? Can anybody tell?
Yes, in personal branding, you are selling yourself as a product. Why
Yeah,
should people approach to you?
right. You're selling yourself as a product. And when it is personal, something which is about company and something which is about a person, the difference is in that when you're having a company brand, it is a collection of people that you're talking about. It is not just one person. But when it comes to personal branding, you are the whole and soul. So imagine if you are not just a person but a whole organization in itself, in yourself. Now, let me give you an example of how many of you actually know about Apple company?
I think everyone should know about Apple. It's a really popular
Right?
company.
Everybody knows. Now, imagine if Apple was not a company, but it was a brand. Okay. Then, how would you describe Apple? If Apple was a person, how would you describe him? It will be, good if I can see the chat. I don't know why I'm not able to see. Can anybody help me how I can come up with chat?
Ma'am, you can just lower your tab of the slides and you can open
But you will be able
Chrome.
to see, you are still able to see the presentation?
Yeah, yeah. You can
Oh,
zoom in a
cool.
bit and then you can side by side put in Chrome tab as well.
Okay, I
Yeah,
usually work
then,
on Zoom, so there I'm more familiar. Yeah, we don't know about this. Okay, So first thing is actually personal brand. Suppose you talk about Apple. Okay, so what we need to understand, if Apple was a person, then how would you describe this person? First thing is, think of the adjectives that you can attach with Apple. To make it simple, what are the adjectives that you can attach with the name Apple? Is Apple creative? So I'll keep on speaking the adjectives, and if you feel that I'm right about Apple, then just type yes. Is Apple creative? You can type it now, I can see the chat. Yes. Okay. Is Apple innovative? Yes. Is Apple updated? Is Apple modern? Is Apple traditional? Perfect. So you already know what an apple could be as a person. You have to do the same thing for yourself. When you are trying to describe Apple as a person, what you did, you already know Apple and you use the same adjectives and applied it to the principle, to the person. In your case, what you have to do is opposite. You already know yourself. Now think of yourself as a company, and then the same adjective that you use for yourself will apply to your company also. So everything you are speaking, everything you are doing is actually reflecting upon your personality and actually creating a brand for yourself already. So whatever you're doing is, your brand already exists. Your personal brand is there. Now, do you know what your personal brand is the question that we are going to find out today. Okay, so first thing is brand. Personal branding, when it is about personal branding, brand is something people talk about you when you are not there, even when you are not there. You're the Apple CEO or Apple people are not sitting with you right now. You're still saying that Apple is creative. You are telling that Apple is creative even when the Apple person is not in front of you. That is exactly how branding works. What people talk about you when you're not in front of them defines your brand. And what, when it defines your brand, they have expectations from you. So suppose they feel that you are a good hearted person, then they expect that anybody in trouble and you're going to help them. Branding can also go bad. Suppose they feel that you are a very rude person, then in that case, whenever they see you and they don't feel like talking to you, because they will expect that you will respond in a very negative way, because your brand is set as a negative, and what is remembered is what creates an impact. So the idea here is, make an impression in such a way in front of the people that they remember you, and whatever way they remember you should be able to create a positive impact. So tell me, how many of you know how other people see you? You already know who you are, right? But do you know how other people see you? If you have to describe yourself as a uh, brand that is seen by others, how will you describe? Give me one word of how you describe yourself, and one word you can ask any other person from the group to describe.
Is helpful.
Helpful, okay. And what your friend says? Are you all
Miss, they
sitting
agree.
together?
They agree on this. Actually, in my university, I'm known as the person who is the most helpful. Uh,
Great. So you are a helpful brand. Congratulations.
thank you.
So any other views? Humble. And what do your friends say? Okay, now when you are when somebody is asking you what do you feel about them, you need not always say, okay, I agree. Okay, I agree is the simplest thing. Okay, but you can have a very different view. Like this especially happens when you ask with your family. So the ideal person to actually ask here is your family is never going to agree with you basically. So ask your family, who do you stand for, how are you, and they will give you a very contradicted view of what you exactly feel about you. Now this contradiction that can happen in family is a very normal thing, but if this contradiction happens with the public, that's when your brand gets spoiled and you are not able to take the benefit out of personal branding. Okay. So let's try to understand the difference between the people and the product brands. First is that a company is an entity which is a collection of different brands. Now these different brands are actually working towards the same goal. Okay, and in personal brand, you are one person working towards the same goal. That's the only difference. Otherwise, brand is a brand. Your personal brand is built around your personality, your lifestyle, your interest, while company's brand is built around the collective efforts of everyone. It is easier to actually create a personal brand than to create a business brand, because there you have to align maybe 1,000 or 10,000 people in one direction. But when you are creating your own personal brand, you don't have to worry about anyone else. You have full control, which is why creating a personal brand is much easier if you're willing to do it. And suppose you have a personal brand already in place, then your personal brand can actually augment your company brand. In the same way, if your company already has a brand, let's say Google, and you call yourself, I am a Google developer. So you are creating your personal brand using the brand that already exists. Because whenever you say that I'm a Google developer, there is a respect automatically that is public is feeling about you. People are feeling about you. So either you use the company brand to create a personal brand, or you create a personal brand from scratch. You can do both the things. So let your company be the support for your personal brand if you want to create a personal brand, or you become the personal brand and become a support to your company. Now, what is your brand? Okay, so first thing, you need to understand who are you. And when I say who are you, I don't mean, if I have to suppose introduce myself as a person, I'll say I am a writer and I mostly serve SMEs. I help them create content, and I also provide trainings to writer. I also do writing work for authors. This is a very boring introduction. Nobody is interested in remembering such introductions. You can introduce yourself to your friends, your teachers in any which ways, but when you are remembered is only when you're giving them something which is unique about you. You are working as a developer. Everybody around you right now is working as a developer. What is special in you? You are special in you. Your personality, your value, your style, your passion, your style of working, or your nature, this is the unique element in you. So when you say I am humble, that is your uniqueness. You are a developer, that's nothing, there is nothing unique about it. Okay, so are you getting it? So quickly everybody type one thing that you feel is very unique about you, and something which is not just unique, but it is also valuable from the professional angle. So for example, if I say I am fast, okay, I'm a very low turnout time, and I am very fast in my deliveries, so that is professionally respectable. Perfectionist, okay, actually vision, visionary, leadership, perfectionist, brutal honesty, I'm a visualizer, consistency, good manager, responsible, Okay, cool. So, congratulations. Next time you're going to introduce yourself, you're going to include these elements in your introduction. So, let's take an example. Now, one person, Muhammad, you are a visualizer. So, whenever you are introducing yourself, do you use this word? Nope. Start using it. In fact, if you do, you have, you guys, how many of you have a LinkedIn profile or any social media profile? For now will work? Okay. Okay. So do one thing. In your LinkedIn profile, there is a section for title where you could be, just describing your designation. In that description, add this word which has the professional credibility also and which is unique about you. Okay. So slash visualizer. That's how you write your title. So people will not just judge you for being a developer, because there could be million developers out there. But when you say you are a visualizer, your profile will stand out. Okay, why I'm asking for LinkedIn is because it's a professional profile. It can also get you jobs. Okay, so first thing is, who are you? You define yourself. Second thing is, what is your mission? And based on what your mission, you create your goals and objectives. So what do you, so suppose easiest way to create or to come up with a mission is to think about what kind of life do you want to live after 5 years from now? What kind of life would you want to live? So give me one word for your mission. Think about what do you want to become after 5 years. 5 years is a long time. Do you want to become a millionaire? Then even that can be a vision. But give a vision, give a mission that you really want, you really relate with, something you can.
An influential person.
Influential, great. So you want to become an influencer, successful entrepreneur, traveler, wow, handy to support family. Okay. Uh, programmer programmer you can even become in 1 year. Why do you need 5 years for that? Tech brands. Or you can say, I want to become the top programmer of this world. Mission has to be high, something which is not, 2 steps away, something which is very far. It's so far that you need to climb literally a mountain to reach there. Only then it will, inspire you. Something that you are anyways going to get is never going to inspire you. Inspiration comes from something which is difficult to get. I want to stand at least 20 buildings from my educational institute. 20 buildings? I did not quite understand. You want to stand at 20 buildings?
Usually, can you say that I want to be like Bill Gates? Is it a mission or not?
So, I mean, are you talking about literal height, or you want to
Uh,
own these companies?
no, miss, I am talking about being successful like him. This can also be
Okay.
classified as a.
Okay, okay. So you want to become an entrepreneur and be so successful that you rise above.
Yes, sort of.
Great. That's like a dream, a real dream. Inspirational designer. Okay. So software house which competes Google. Wow. Wow. That's a great mission. Okay. So now next thing you're gonna do is you added one word to your profile that was describing you. Now this second word, that is your mission. Add your mission either in the title or in the about section. You can state your mission very clearly. This is what I am working towards. So third question you should ask yourself, are you really working towards it? You want to become an inspirational designer, are you really working towards it? You have a mission. You know who you are. Now how are you going to work towards it? By using what you have to offer that can lead you to your mission. You have skills, you have knowledge, you have expertise. If there's anything missing that can come in the way of your achievement of your mission, then you have to learn that skill or gain that knowledge. So define yourself, define your mission, and third, identify the skills, expertise, knowledge that is needed for you to achieve that mission. If you don't have it, gain it. So are we all good? Okay. Now personal branding is actually a mindset. Many people confuse that what is personal branding while we understood what is brand. But personal branding is neither a tool nor a strategy nor a method. It is the mindset. The mindset that I spoke about when I started our discussion. You feeling yourself as a brand. You are not just one person, doing some programming work. You are a unique person with a vision, mission, and a capacity to build something great out of you. When that kind of mindset you have, not just right now, but every time you are talking to anyone, when you're talking on social media, talking to your teachers, talking to your friends, or any stranger also, if you go with the same mindset that I stand for who I am a missionary person, I have a vision and I have the capacity to achieve it. When you go with this mindset before the word, that is when you're doing personal branding. Doesn't matter if you're using Google or you're using LinkedIn, Facebook, or any other platform. If you have that mindset, you're doing personal branding every time, like 24 hours, except when you're sleeping. Okay, so when you have a mindset of personal branding, a communication strategy is automatically coming out of your head. You know what to talk. You know what to talk when you're a person. You know what to talk when you are a brand. So, like we started with the introduction. That as an your introduction as a person, you will say I'm a developer. But as an introduction of a person who is a brand, you will say I'm a visualizer. So the difference between I'm a developer, I'm a visualizer is the difference between a person and a brand. Person is just a person with some capacities. Brand is an inspiration. So you can inspire people, you can make a difference in their lives only when you yourself become a brand. Okay, now why personal branding? Mindset, I already told you, personal branding is a mindset that can make you talk in a different way, which creates an aura. So suppose there are, here we have 56 people. Now, 56 people, if they are, suppose all these 56 people were strangers and everybody starts to introduce, how many of the people will you remember? How many of you will remember if everybody starts introducing? One, two.
Only only people who have unique abilities or qualities.
Exactly. You remember only those people who have given you something worth remembering. So if you're just going to say, I'm a developer, nobody is going to remember you. It's the brand element that makes you remember. Now, if you use laptops, you remember only those names of the laptops that are brands. There could be many more companies actually producing laptop, but you always remember Apple because it's a brand. So if you want people to remember you, you have to first have a mindset of a brand that will automatically create an aura, and because of that aura people will start loving you, and that's when they'll start connecting you, they'll start giving you jobs, they'll start becoming influenced by you. So every possibility is there when you become a brand. Here are some stories that I've picked from LinkedIn. These are the people very active on LinkedIn, and these are, like, you can see the number of followers that they have. More than 89,000, more than a million, more than what we can ever imagine we will have. And it's not just because they belong to a big company, they are the CEO of the company. Now this guy, I'll give you an example of Ankur Warikoo. He is getting very famous in India. So when he actually started talking on the social media on LinkedIn, he had very targeted posts and a very clear positioning. He wanted to be a coach, a leader. That was his positioning. So he started putting some videos, some articles and posts, original posts that were very regular. One special thing about this guy was, if you look at his profile on LinkedIn, you will find, uh, whenever we write any article on LinkedIn, most of the people will use some free stock image and put the article, right? But this guy, every time he's writing a new article on LinkedIn, he takes a new picture, a professional photograph, and he puts that photograph on the LinkedIn article. He never puts a stock photograph, only his own image. So he has a very photogenic face, and that's what he's using. Actually, I have never seen anyone done that. And this was not just one strategy. I love this idea. Actually, there was another thing which he did. And we all create resumes, right? So in resumes we talk about what we have achieved in our lives. These are the colleges we passed from, these are the companies where we worked. But nobody ever take note of where we have failed. This was the company I applied in, but I could not get through. We never note our failures. But what this guy did, he created a failure resume where he recorded all the names of all the companies where he either got fired or he was not able to crack the interviews, or where he could not even take the admission in particular college. So he created a failure resume and he uploaded it online, and that failure resume got viral. You can google failure resume of Variku and you'll be able to see what he has written. So this was something very unique that came from him. Now, the another guy. Now, every person here that we are discussing has a different, very unique style. I told you the style of Ankur Warikoo. He personalizes things. Anthony, he actually never writes his own posts. What he does, he picks out only videos that are about some kind of innovation in the engineering or IT field, and he just writes one single line as the opinion piece, and he picks the videos that are really going to get traction. Plus his designation definitely creates an impact. So his designation, he knows what to use. Because of his designation, he knows I will get people to listen to me. Videos are very innovative, very unique. Because of that, he also gets traction, and what he gives is only one single line, which is very easy to read. So there are three things, and all of his posts, if you can check out his profile on LinkedIn, all his posts go in the same manner. So consistent he is in way of deliveries. Even that Strati Joe Group Polis, he also uses the similar kind of strategy. Now this Talal Al Murad, he doesn't even mention what he does in the professional world. He's calling himself husband and father. That is how he actually gained followership. And he creates very personalized videos, very personalized posts, not just on LinkedIn, but even on Facebook. So his style is very different. How can any person become so popular on LinkedIn, which is a professional platform, by talking only about personal things? So this is actually very amazing. Being different works. These all people are different. That Anthony never works to create own content. Still, it's working for him. So being different works. So you need to find out how can you appear different. That's when you'll be able to identify your true brand. Okay. Now, as I already mentioned, if you are talking to people, if you are having your profile online, if you are active there, you are already giving away information about you to the world, and you have already created a personal brand for yourself. Right now, you may or may not know what your personal brand is, but that doesn't mean that you don't have a brand, because people are used to judging. Everybody judges you, even if we say, it's not good to judge people, but who doesn't judge? Everybody does. Do you agree with me that everybody judges?
Yes, yes.
Yes, everybody judges. We can't stop these judges in our lives. We can only control ourselves. We cannot control our judges. So we can control what we say, we can control how we think, we can control how we feel, we cannot control what world thinks about us. And personal branding is a way to actually control what people say about us. Okay. Now, if you don't know why and what people think about you, that could be because you could be putting out information, content, or communication of all kinds, but you have no awareness of what you're doing, you have no knowledge of what you're doing, and you have no strategy of what you want to put in. So whenever you're putting people who said who are active on social media platforms like LinkedIn, whenever you put a post or share or comment, do you ever think about it, or you just randomly put it? Do you have a strategy or reason why you're putting it, or you just do it randomly? If you do it randomly, without any strategy, type random, and if you have a proper reasoning behind it, then put strategy. Randomly. Random. Okay. Okay, now what does random do? Sometimes we are tech related updates. Okay, that's really wonderful. So you have at least one element of strategy. Nothing. Okay. So what does actually random do? Randomness confuses people. When you're random, I cannot really judge you. So sometimes you are in a different mood, so you appear like a different person. Sometimes you are talking about technology, so I feel okay, you're a tech freak. Sometimes you start talking about movies, then I feel okay, he's a movie buff. Then sometimes you're talking about some innovation, and I am all you're all over the place, and I don't know what is your personal brand. I can never find out about you. If this person is only and only talking about innovative videos, I know what this person stands for. If Ankur is only and only talking about coaching, then I know what he stands for. Random means multiple content which confuses people. Perfect, Ahmad. That's what you are currently doing. So your personal brand is a confused brand right now. So okay, we have some people who are actually following strategy. So can we know what your strategy is, Ibad and Ahmed? What is the strategy that you use, and what brand is it creating? Thank you, Ahmed. So think about it. If you don't already have a strategy, then first think about what kind of brand you want to create. Basically, in simple words, how do you want people to remember you? Okay, so here are a few things that makes it difficult for you to create a personal brand. First, you think it's a lot of thinking that is involved in personal branding, which you don't want to do. That you feel high pressure. If you have to think about your brand before typing anything, it's a pressure to your head, which is why you don't do it. There could be some restrictions or limitations. I cannot talk about this, I cannot talk about that. So you may not be doing that, or you may not have the right knowledge about thing you want to talk about. Then you can have either no willingness to learn. Many people say, okay, why do I have to do personal branding, why do I have to think about personal branding? They don't want to learn. No application of learning. Now some people have already learned, like right now we are doing this webinar, you're going to learn a lot of things about personal branding, but how many of you are actually going to retain it in your head and use it? Not many. Ideally, in any seminar or webinar, only 10% of the people actually retain something out of it, and only 1% actually use whatever they have learned. So are you going to use what you are learning here? How
Yes,
many?
of course.
If you say you are going to use, say yes. Perfect. So here one problem is sorted. You are ready to use your learning. Prejudices burned in your mind. Prejudices like, and my English is not very good. So if I type something, people will not appreciate me. Or even if you have some new idea, people will think I am stupid. These are all prejudices. They're only in your minds. They're not real. You never know, even if you're, even bingo like ideas, these ideas are so stupid. You really think these marketers who have created bingo like ideas, they would ever have done that kind of advertising if they thought like this, if they had prejudices about their brand, their ideas? Let the world say it's a crappy idea. Why do you say it is your idea? If you don't respect your own idea, you should in fact defend your idea instead of saying it's going to be bad. Defend your idea, it's your idea. So don't have self doubts. Yeah, self doubts can be really disturbing. Let others judge. Why are you judging yourself? People are already doing that work for you. Why do you need to do that? Closed mindset. Some people just think, okay, I am born to do only typing. I'm not going to do anything else. Why should I build a brand? I'm getting a job, fine, I'm done with my life. So they have a very closed mindset. And some people have a tendency to complicate. So tendency to complicate means, suppose I say, simple, I give you a method, go online, read some content and put it in your own words and type it there. Other people will think, no, I should do some kind of analysis on this, maybe some critical, I should use my skills in this and that, and they try to complicate things that it becomes so difficult that they end up doing nothing actually. No post. Don't complicate. You can start simple. When things are simple, keep them simple. Okay. So first thing that we need to do in personal branding, bring a mindset change. So start this. So few things I want you to remember. First thing is you are not just a person, but you are a unique brand. Go with that mindset. Second thing, people are already doing the work of judging you. So you don't need to judge yourself. Be yourself. Don't be afraid. Let people judge you. Let people say you have a very crappy ideas. Perfect. So what? Even if it's a crappy idea, it's my idea. I'm proud of it. So don't judge yourself. Okay, so two things you remember. And in this way, you will have a shift in your mindset. The moment you have a shift in your mindset, the way you talk, the things you talk about, everything is going to change. Your approach will change. So instead of doing the random talks, you will have a strategy. If you know that you want people to see you as an expert, you will only talk about things like an expert. So everything will automatically change if the mindset changes. Now, second thing, now we have a mindset change. Second thing is, suppose we want to create a personal brand, there are different ways we can do. We can either use social media, we can directly talk to people, or we can also use special venues to conduct some programs. These are different tools that you can use for personal branding. But whatever is your tool has some special features. Let's take an example of LinkedIn. LinkedIn has 20 plus ways to connect with people. These are LinkedIn's feature. It offers you. Now, LinkedIn has been created to allow you to do everything that you require to do networking. So trust LinkedIn. First, you trust yourself. Don't judge yourself. Second, you trust the vehicle. Okay, I'll tell you a story. This happened with me a few years back. I used to drive a two-wheeler, and then I wanted to purchase a car. So when I got my new car and I had a coach with me, I thought, it's going to be very easy because I already know how to drive. I just have to learn how to drive a car, so it's going to be very easy. So what I did, I sat there and I remembered for the two-wheeler, what I have to do, I have to see right, look at the right, left, and I take care of my speed. and anybody is not banging into my vehicle. When I sat there, he started coaching me. He told me about you have a brake, you have a clutch, you have an accelerator, you have a handbrake, you have right mirror, left mirror, front mirror. This is the dashboard where you have to check the meter reading. You have to make sure that these lights are not on, because that indicates your car has some trouble. You have to look at the other people in front of you if they are giving indicators. You have to make sure that you give indicators, and you are not supposed to leave your lane. And I started counting. There were 20 things that he told me, and I was like literally shocked. 20 things? How can I ever remember 20 things at one time? How do I ever remember? If I cannot remember 20 things at a time, how will I take care of them at one moment in time? I told him, I cannot learn driving. I can't do it. He said, don't worry, it's gonna get easy. So I said, okay, fine, let me try. But after 1 week, it was perfect. I learned. But the story doesn't end here. What happened? First thing I want you to take note of, why I'm telling this story is because the mindset with which I was driving a two-wheeler did not work in the car. Because in two-wheeler, I never used the mirror. I never used the mirror. I never used to see. But in car, I cannot do that. And when I was in a two-wheeler, even if it was a small space, I could easily go anywhere because I know the distance between me and the other vehicle. But when I was in car, the car was beyond my personal space. I had to, judge where is the other car, how much is the distance between my car and the other car. And I had to also judge, how far is the vehicle by looking at the mirror. So the mindset with which I'm driving a two-wheeler is never going to work for a two-wheeler. So I had to change the mindset. So most of my training went into changing the mindset, not exactly understanding how the car works. Because being an engineer, it's easy for me to understand how car works. But changing the mindset is the bigger challenge. So then what happened? I was comfortable driving on the highways and normal roads, but I was not very comfortable driving on any steep lane. So in my building, the parking was actually very steep. So I never used to park inside the building. I used to park outside the building because I was afraid of going to that steep lane. One day what happened, I was going to one my potential client, and I followed Google navigation, and I reached a place that was like this steep. I didn't know what to do. I stopped there. The moment I released my brakes, it would my car start to go back, and then people are like banging horns and all, and I didn't know what to do. So I was stuck there, and I was so scared. I called my coach and I told him, this is what is happening. I don't know how to move my car. How can you please help me? Then a lady came and she knocked my window and she asked me, I can help you. I understand you may be a new driver. So come out and I will help you. And at the same time, the coach was on my call, and what do you think coach would have suggested? I told my coach that this lady is willing to help me, and I'm going to get out of my car and she is going to help me get out of this situation. What do you think coach would have said? Would he tell me to take help from the lady? What would he say?
Take help from the lady.
Yeah, the coach said, right, you're very right. The coach said, try yourself, don't take help. He said no. So he told me, first, trust yourself, because I have taught you everything you need to know to be able to get out of this situation. Second, he said, trust your vehicle, because the car is constructed in such a way that it has everything you need to get out of this situation. Third, he said, trust me, because I am telling you that you can do it. That means you can do it. So this was like a mindset transformation instantly. I trust myself, I trust my vehicle, and I trust my coach. I went ahead and I was safe. No accident happened. Okay, so three things he told me, and I noted his lessons. I always remember in my life, and I tell this to everyone. Trust yourself, trust your vehicle, and trust the information or the coach, whoever is giving you. So right now, if I am telling this to you, you can do all the judging after you have left this webinar. But if somebody is telling you something and you should learn that, after that you can do all the judgment kind of things. Some people come to attend webinars or seminars only to judge the speaker. Okay, are you really to judge the speaker? First take the lessons, and then whatever you want to talk about the judge, you can, about the speaker, you can say. So learn. Trust whoever is teaching you is actually giving you value. Now, what happened in this car incident was I panicked. Okay, and when you panic, I was actually capable of getting out of it, but I was not able to do it only and only because I panicked. So if you panic, your mind turns off. Then even if you have the solution right there in front of you, you cannot see. Have you ever faced this situation where you're badly searching for something very urgently, and you're not able to see it, and suddenly some of your family member comes and says, "Samne to rakha hai yaar." Has it ever happened with you? With me, it
Yes.
has happened. Yeah, right? That's because you are too stressed. You're panicking because you want that thing so desperately that it's right in front of you and you keep searching. Sometimes I keep my spectacle like this and I keep searching, where is my spectacle? Once it happened, I was just holding myself and I asked my mom, "Mama, where is my cell?" And she laughed. "What is there in your hand?" That's what happens when you panic. So panicking is never a solution. Have patience. And whenever you feel like you have a panic attack, take a deep breath and count till 10, 1, 2, 3, and till 10. By that time, you will be normal. And when you get out of panic, you will automatically start to see what's happening. Last but not the least, keep learning, because your agenda in life should always remain that you improve every day, even if it is by 1% improvement, but improve every day. And you cannot improve unless you learn. Doesn't matter from where you're learning, your parents, your colleagues, your teachers, or through webinar, or you take some course online, whichever is the source. Learn, and not just learn, but apply. You should have willingness to learn and apply. So suppose if I'm telling you these techniques, how to do, now people who will actually go and put that in the title will actually be able to see if it actually gives you results. People are not going to do, they will never be able to even remember this lesson, that okay, I was once told to add my vision or mission statement in my about page. You will forget it. We all have short-term memories and long-term memories. Right now, what you're capturing is only going into your short-term memory. After you apply it, it will go into your long-term memory. Short-term memories, you will forget. Within 8 hours, you will forget everything that you're listening, unless you record that learning somewhere, apply that learning, or have a discussion with someone. Now, when you suppose, if you're just listening, you have like 30% of retention. If you're reading, you have only 20% of retention. If you're applying it, your retention goes 50%. If you're also discussing about it, then your retention goes up to 70%. So the best way to remember anything is have discussion, which is why in webinars I always give activities, which is why I am trying to interact with you, asking you questions, because if I don't ask, you won't remember anything. Okay, so before we go to the actual steps, do you have any questions?
Miss, can you suggest how to find people that are interested in the topic that you just ran? For example, if I'm interested in computers, I search around, search in my surroundings, and no one has the same interest as me. So it's very really boring to talk about or discuss about them regarding this topic. So I keep myself shut because I don't get an appropriate response from them.
Okay, how to get people who are interested in you? First thing is, uh, this works as an attraction. Okay, you work like a magnet. You don't need to search for people. When you search for people, you will find zero people in your life. Let them search you. You just keep talking bindas about what you do. People will automatically come to you. Just because people are not responding, that doesn't mean they're not interested in the topic. That only means that they're not confident about it. And when you talk confidently, they will automatically come to you. They will be attracted to you. This guy is talking so confidently, it happens. So don't worry about if people are not coming. You keep doing what you like. People will automatically come to you. So this is like, push pull marketing difference. When you talk like a person, you're trying to, uh, push people to, listen to me. But in pull marketing, what happens? You never sell, you pull people, you attract them. So be a magnet, attract people. People will come to you, believe me. Everybody, uh, may or may not have the interest, but it doesn't matter. You don't have to worry about it. It is their job to worry. Like I said, don't judge yourself. Let them judge you. And after you have already done a lot of work in your area, people will come like, those butterflies. Does that answer your question?
Yes, miss. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Actually,
great.
like
Okay,
when
so first
so
thing, mindset change. If you remember those three things, they are like shortcuts to keep remembering how to change. Have a brand mindset. Second is develop a strategy. So don't put randomly anything there. I mean, if you're putting it, it's not going to benefit because it's going to confuse you. If you're doing it on Facebook, not a problem, because Facebook is not exactly for branding. It is more for only networking. But if you're putting it on LinkedIn, then have a strategy. And then once you have a strategy decided, what you do with it, you create content. Okay, so let's do a small exercise here. Here I have given a few questions. First thing is, we spoke about who are you? What is your why? Now, why is about the mission that we identified. And based on your mission, you create goals. So you can note down this table and you can write the answers. For now, let's do the first one. Okay, so first one is, who are you? What is your why? We have already done till that. Now, based on your why, that was your mission, what do you want to become in 5 years down the line? Define your goals. For now, define 3 goals of your life. Or you can also define the goals of your personal branding. So, how do you want people to remember you? And based on that, you create 3 goals. So, suppose if you want people to remember you as a visualizer, then what is your goal? Create create content that is talking all about visualization and show yourself as an expert could be your goal. So define your 3 goals. Okay, and type it in the chat. And then we'll see how we can use these goals to create a strategy. Yeah, so if 3 is too much for you right now, you can define 1 goal also. You have to define your goal based on who you are that we discussed and what you want to become, your mission 5 years down the line. Based on that information that you already have about yourself, what should you do? Let's say, let's take one vehicle, LinkedIn. So, what should you post on LinkedIn if you want to? And so not even post is actually the next section where you uh, do define a strategy. Right now, right, how do you want your people to see and in how much time? So what is your goal? Maybe goals can be very specific. Smart goals, for example, I want 10,000 followers by the end of this year. That could be a goal. Okay, so can you be a little specific, Hadia? Like, what do you mean by being successful? Like, you can define, I want to have at least 1 million in my account, something like that, or goals to be best in my field, computer science, have an impactful. So, when you say best, be specific. What do you mean by best? I'm opening my brand. Okay. You mean company you want to open? I want to sell more than 10K products by 2020. Perfect. This is a clear cut goal. Change people's mindset about creative fields. Okay. Um, and by way of doing this, where you are going to get increase engagement of my connections in my content. Okay, perfect. So how many people you want to you like as followers, or how many comments do you want on your posts? Learning Flutter in 1 month. Perfect. That is also a goal. If that helps you, definitely. So goals can be small and big. So you have like short-term goals, medium-term goals, long-term goals. And your short-term and medium-term goals should be like, those milestones that help you reach the ultimate goal that you have, which could be 5 years down the line. Become a successful web designer. Again, define success. When you mean successful web designer, then can you define that these are the companies these many companies I've worked for, or this is the company I'm working for, or these are the number of projects that I've done, these are the number of clients that I would have got. I want to do social work with my education and personal life. Okay, so how many people in your life you want to create a difference in? Setting up my business by the end of this year. Perfect. Also define what kind of a business you want to build. Want to make a final year project own self? Okay, isn't that suppose you're already supposed to do yourself? Wants to be, I know many people hire others to do assignments. Want to be in the list of world's top tech persons. Perfect. So I mean, who lists you among top 10? Find out about that organization and make it specific by mentioning that organization. That something like, top 10 list of Google or whatever is the organization. I want to become a web developer. Perfect. So you want to become a web developer and define the timeline by when. Want to top Kahoot quiz. I'm not sure if I know about this Kahoot quiz. Right today? Okay, I don't really know this Kahoot quiz. And today is a very mini goal. By this session, become a cyber security analyst. Perfect. And get shirt as well as shirt XD. I suppose something related to animation. Okay. Perfect. So now you already have at least one goal defined in your life. Start working on it. Next step is, if you want to achieve this goal, then what should be your strategy? What are the skills that you should have? What is the knowledge that you should carry? And what are the and how you can actually gain these skills and knowledge. So what? Then you go how, and then start an action plan. And by the way of personal branding, you can communicate what you're doing with the world, so that when you want to go to the level where you can achieve your longer goal, your long term goal, basically, you have takers. Right. So if you want to have takers already ready for what you are going to become, then start talking about it from today. Okay. So now when you want to talk to people, you should know what do they want to listen. So you start by talking, understanding them, and then you understand your vehicle. Suppose you're using LinkedIn, then you understand lingo, understand how it's going to be done, and then create a feedback loop. So if you're suppose you want 100 comments and you put in some article and it doesn't get your 100 comments, why is it not getting you? Try to understand, put that feedback into your learning, and continue your journey. Okay, here are what you can define yourself as a personal brand. While you have already mentioned about your objectives and qualities, here is how you can define your brand in a crisp way. After 5 years, what do you want to become? An authority, a coach, a master, an influencer, an expert, or the most popular person in your field. You can use for personal branding, multiple tools are available. You can either become a YouTuber and do, or you can become a blogger on WordPress. You can do social media posting like this Ankur Veraku. You can write a book and become an author. You can become the buzz in the media. You can have discussion forums, participate there, answer questions, or you can conduct webinars. You can use as many tools as you want, but to start with, I would suggest you to begin with one tool, master it, and then you start using the other tool also. So if you want to start with, suppose, social media posting, then pick one social media account, let's say LinkedIn or Facebook, and then start. So when you are focused on one thing, it's much easier to create a strategy. Creating a strategy for 10 different profiles is going to be not just difficult, but even preparing a content for that is difficult, because what's going to work on LinkedIn may not work on Facebook. What's going to work on Insta may not work on LinkedIn. Okay, so next step that you should have a clear cut defined brand for yourself. These are general categories of brands. Now, suppose you pick authority, then you decide authority for what. If you pick coach, what coach? Are you going to be a life coach? Are you going to be a business coach? Are you going to be a tech coach? Master what? Website development. What do you want to master? And then popular in what? Expert of what? And influencer in what category? Influencer in the lives of business people, or influencer in lives of students. How? So make it specific, so you can pick any of these categories that you like, if you can relate with it, and then specify, make it personalized to your. Okay, so this is what I had. You have any questions, please shoot. And I've already given you next action that you have to do is change your title, modify your about, and put your vision, mission, what you are, your specialty into that. Next step, define your brand. Okay, third step, you have to come up with a strategy based on your goals. So you have goals, then you have strategies, and only put that content which helps you achieve your goals. Any content that is not really helping you in your goal, don't put that on LinkedIn. You can put it on Facebook. So you can use one account as your entertainment, or you can use other account. But even when you're using your account as an entertainment, remember, people are still going to judge you. So don't always do only entertainment. Do the things that you also have seriously. So you can create a page on Facebook or a group where you do the serious stuff, and in your personal account, you're then free to do whatever you want. So create a page, create a group on Facebook, and then do the serious stuff. That's where actually you're going to find audience, people who are going to pull to you. Maybe not around you, but in digital space, you have like 6 billion people to connect to. I mean, as many people are actually using it. Yeah, change your title, modify your about, define your brand, come up with a strategy. Right. And remember the three things: trust yourself, trust your vehicle that you have chosen, and trust your coach. Right, failure resume. Okay, if you can, I won't even remember how many times I failed, because there are too many times which I have failed. So I may not even remember. Okay, So yeah, that's great. You know, you are a great audience. Thank you for listening to me patiently, and I can see this excitement. You are willing to actually try and learn and all these strategies. I've given you one simple step that you can immediately do on LinkedIn, but I want you to go home and think about your brand carefully. So here I have given you some, hint points. If you can fit into any of these categories, most of the people actually fit into these categories, except the traveler kind or different fields. So I also fit into the category of authority coach. Authority because I'm an author, coach because I am actually providing a coaching, and I'm also an influencer in the writing field, and I'm also an expert of content field. I am gaining popularity. So basically, sometimes it's like you fit into every picture, but you have to pick one positioning, because otherwise it's gonna confuse everyone. So when I'm talking to you right now, I am picking one positioning only, which is coaching, personal branding coach. I could be everyone, everything, but right now I'm focused on coaching. So you also pick one positioning, that is to tell the world at a time at least. Next year you could, add some more thing to it, diversify, which is fine, but pick one positioning for one time. Thank you, Asneen. It was great talking to you all. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me.
Thank you, ma'am.